Hello again, everyone. Original Blood Ice back again with another video here. And you may have heard of this story, you may not have. Bill Cosby, I'm pretty sure you've heard of him. He's in a bit of hot water, you could say. This was... Actually, I don't even know when this happened. It says January 7th, so like just the other day. But he has been accused. First of all, if you don't know who he was on a lot of TV shows back in the day, even on, well, most known from The Cosby Show. He's a comedian. Yeah, probably one of the most well-known... I don't know if this makes me sound racist. I don't mean to be if it is. One of the most well-known black comedians. You know, African-American comedians. I'm not sure what the proper way to phrase it is. But anyway, big fan. I've been a big fan of him forever. But anyway, so he's been accused of sexual assault by some women. It says 3 new women here because there was some other ones that accused him of it before. And this whole story just seems so conspiracy-like. Now, what I'm going to go over is really only my personal opinion and feelings on this thing. But first of all, let's get into the actual details here. They basically say that 30 years ago, roughly, is when he drugged them and raped them or sexually assaulted them. Now, there's a few things that kind of come to mind that, to me, personally lean towards him being innocent. Now, I've seen a lot of comments on different sites, different news things, and it seems like 80% of the world pretty much is against him here. Like, they're just like, oh, well, blah, 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 he's guilty, throw him in jail, blah, 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 or whatever. Now, whatever happened to that thing in the States, what was it called? Innocent till proven guilty? Yeah, when all these types of stories happen, it's just, oh, guilty, guilty, guilty. Like, no one cares enough to actually do the damn, scientific research and find evidence anymore. Now, I'm going to say, even though I'm a fan of him, both as a comedian and back in his days as on TV and everything, if evidence is, found that proves beyond a shadow of a doubt that he was guilty, then yeah, he should be punished for it. No doubt about it. However, no such evidence has come forward yet, or come, to the spotlight yet. So anyway, though, back on topic here. Well, we didn't go off topic, but back on point. It was like, 20 women originally came out and said that this happened to them like 30 years ago. So first of all, I'm thinking, why did you wait 30 years for this if it happened? Why so long? Now I know, there's the whole, oh, people who are raped, it's hard for them to talk about it. It's hard for them to come, to reveal it to the people and everything. That's definitely true, no doubt about it. But tell me, why is it that after 30 years, 20 women all decided to come forward at the same time? Like, how did these women... Let's say... Oops, this thing went dim on me. Let's say that this happened, alright? How would these 20 women have found each other and found out from each other that they were all raped by the same man? You see? I don't know how... Where did they meet each other? It's like, are these all 20 sisters and he raped 20 sisters? Maybe that would make sense. But these are like 20 women from, like, I don't even know where they live. Are they all across the entire United States? It just seems so weird. How would these people have found each other? And then, like, to me, it just seems like this is like the Michael Jackson thing all over again. I'm sure a lot of you remember what happened there with the whole, oh, him and kids and all that crap. Yet later it was found out that the kids revealed that their parents told them to make up stories to get Michael Jackson sued and in trouble so they could make easy... Shut up, you stupid warning thing on my screen. You probably didn't even see it. It was like, oh, there's too much load on this page. But, Anyway, the parents had made the kids tell stories about Michael Jackson doing stuff he never fucking did, and then so just to tarnish his name, just so they could mooch money off of him, because they're like, oh, we need money, let's sue a celebrity. So to me, this feels very similar. I think, I'm not saying it's a fact, I'm just saying personally for me, I feel that these women, they waited 30 years to wait for him to get older, and so he'd be like, I'm 60 years old, or however old he is, he's older than them probably, and he's like, I don't have time, like, I don't want to, like, I shouldn't have to do legal crap like this, so I'm just gonna settle or whatever, and pay you money or whatever, just so they can get money from him. Now, I could be completely wrong. They could be completely telling the truth, and, I was gonna say Michael Jackson, and Cosby could be guilty. And like I said, if that's the case, then yes, he should pay. And I just clicked to close the ad thing and it refreshed the whole fucking page. God damn it. Anyway, it's just so suspicious. And all of these ladies' stories are so similar. They're all like, oh, we were here. I was drugged. I don't know how I got home. Blah, blah, blah. Now, another thing that just crossed my mind right now. Correct me if I'm wrong, but 30 years ago, this was before I was born, this was 6 years before I was born, uh, didn't people back then tend to do a lot of drinking and partying and drugs? I'm pretty sure they did. Not everyone. I'm not saying everyone. Oh, great, there's another ad there. The Google pays me 160 per hour. But anyway, so I totally lost my train of thought now. Um, anyway, all these people saying like all these allegations and everything, and another thing is Bill Cosby has still been doing his comedy routine. Some people are trying to protest and get him to shut down. He's just doing his own thing and keep doing his. He's still doing his thing. So to me, I don't know. I feel like if he was guilty, he would be acting different. Like he'd be like worried. He'd be like, oh no, they're finally trying to sue me after all this time, and and he'd be nervous and or some kind of change in him. But he's the exact same. Now, you granted he's an actor. He could just be very good at masking nervousness, I suppose. But I I don't know. For me, it just feels like this is a Montreal screw job, like from a WWE reference there. I don't know. What more is there to say? I just feel like it's too suspicious that 20 or 23 women, I guess now or so, come forward after 30 years just to say, hey, you raped me back then. I mean, anyone can accuse anyone of anything, really. I could just be like, walking down the street, and then there's a cop beside me, and then there's some other guy down the street, and I'm like, hey, that guy just, robbed a bank. And then the cop would go tackle him or something. So it's like anyone can say anything, really. So until there's actual proof, and that's another thing, how would you even be able to prove this? Even if he is guilty, how do you prove something happened 30 years ago? Is the justice system, which we all know is broken in the United States, it's not perfect anywhere really, but in the States especially it's broken. But what would they do? Would the judge just be like, well, now this is I'm just throwing a number out there that's not a real number right now, but say 100 women say this, right? If all these women are like, oh, free money from Bill Cosby, free money. So is a judge really going to go, well, 100 women say you did, and just you say you didn't? I'm going to go with the 100 women, because why would 100 women lie? Is that what's going to happen? So, I don't know. And again, let me let me reiterate, if he's guilty, he should be punished, no doubt about it. But for me personally, I'm one of the few people that I've come across that's still defending him. Like, I don't feel like he did this. Again, though, he could have. If he did, then evidence will be found and he will be caught. But again, after 30 years, how do you prove it? There's no, whatever that supposed drug was, how, how do you trace something that wouldn't be in their system anymore? You know? Oh, and I forgot to mention this before when I was talking about 30 years ago when everyone doing drugs and drinking alcohol. Pretty sure everyone passed out back then from doing drugs and alcohol and somehow still managed to wake up at home and they didn't know how to get they got there. Doesn't mean they were raped. Just meant that they took too many drugs or alcohol and their brain went to mush and they got home somehow, probably drunk driving. Who knows, you know? Who knows? Anyway, yeah, I don't know what if there's much more. Whoops, I didn't mean to highlight that. I don't know if there's much more to go over. Um, yeah, I mean, if you're a fan of Bill Cosby and you think he's guilty, then that's fine. Or if you, I should say, if you think he's guilty, you're probably no longer a fan. Uh, but again, I don't. It's not fair to just say, oh, well, these women came out of nowhere and we should just trust them. You know, because so many fans have followed Bill Cosby's career, you know, for the past 30 years or even longer or whatever. And I don't know. It's just like, I don't know. What's a good comparison? Some random guy comes up to you, say you've never seen him before. You're walking down the street, some random guy comes up and he's like, hey, you know your uncle, he's a serial killer. And you'd be like, what are you talking about? Like, you're not going to believe him. You know? So, I don't know. I don't know. I don't need to go on and on anymore. I wanted to share this story. I wanted to say, for the time being, until there's evidence otherwise, I'm defending him. I believe that he's innocent. Because like I said, he still seems to be going to his shows. He still says he's given the best show of his life. You know, he's not letting it bother him, you know. Which, to me, shows he's innocent. He knows he has nothing to hide. So, although I gotta say though, if this is concluded that the women were conspiring against him and lying, what's the punishment for them? Because you don't slander someone as big of a name as Bill Cosby. You know. Although that is with celebrities, they do make themselves targets sometimes. Yeah. Anyway, I don't want to go on and on more. I just wanted to talk about this and give my 2 cents on it. I should say a nickel, I guess, because in Canada we don't have pennies anymore. So there's no more 2 cents. There's no more 1, 2, 3, or 4 cents, technically. Anyway, yeah, that'll do it for this video. I'll see you soon, because there's another video coming, and it's another, news story, except it's from quite a while ago. But it's one that's not so sad. It has a happy ending. So anyway, we'll see you then for that. So come on back. We'll see you soon.